Hi everyone, it's me, C Lefty Run. So I'm with you on week 12, 2 more weeks left. I can't believe it. So for week, hold on, I'm jotting a note, something I want to say. Okay. For week 12, I ran 58.2 miles in week 12. Um, so I'm just going to go down my week and I'm going to go through some like final thoughts. Sunday, I ran 6 on the treadmill in Las Vegas. As you know, I told you my husband ran Baker to Vegas. Um, my average pace was an 8:29. My heart rate was a 143. I was finally feeling good. I wasn't blowing my nose every mile. And so I just kind of felt like going for it. So I would like switch things up. Like I'm going to run a quarter mile this fast. I'm going to run a half mile this fast. So yeah, so it wasn't an easy run and I was just okay with it. I didn't feel like my body wanted to run easy that day. And it had been a while since my body was like, hey, let's pick up the pace a little bit. I was like, okay. Monday, same thing. I ran 6 at an 8:57 pace and my heart rate was a 145. So not an easy run, just kind of like a moderate run, I guess. Uh, for like an easy run, I do like my heart rate to be in like the 130. Do I stop the run if it's not in that zone? No, but anyway, Tuesday, I ran a total of 10 miles. I had a workout on Tuesday and it was 2 by 3. So 3 miles at a 7:56 to an 8:06. It's called a marathon strength workout. So they are mile repeats, but faster than marathon pace. And I had to do that 2 times. So for the first 3 miles, and then there was an easy mile in between. So I did a 2-mile warm up, and then my first 3 miles, I did 7:57, 7:53, and 7:53. Then I did a 1-mile recovery. And then for the second 3, I was 7:55, 8:13, 7:45. I'm like, where is that? What happened with that 8:13? I don't know. Like there's a slight hill on the loop that I do. It's like so small. It was kind of windy that day. Who knows? But I made up for it with the 7:45, so I don't really care. It all balances out, right? My heart rate was 147. It felt hard. I'm not gonna lie, the miles just didn't tick by. I did get water during the mile recovery. I had to go to the bathroom. So was it like just a straight, like, no, I don't know, but hey, it's better than what I've done in weeks with this dang cold. So I was like, whatever, body, like whatever you need. Wednesday, as you know, I took Wednesday off. Did I tell you my heart rate on Tuesday was an average of 147? Okay. Thursday, I had 13 miles, 10 were supposed to be at my goal marathon pace. So my goal marathon pace, 8:07 to 8:16. My real goal pace to get a sub 3:40, I believe is like 8:20. So, the 10 miles, my average pace was an 8:07. My average pace for the overall run was an 8:30. Yeah, it didn't feel easy. Didn't feel easy. It was it was hard. So, but I was glad to check that box and get those 10 in. My average heart rate was a 152. Friday I did an easy 6 at 9:04. My heart rate was a 138. Saturday, pouring rain. We got a huge storm in Southern California. I do believe that almost every one of my long Saturday runs was done in the rain. And if it wasn't raining, then I was dealing with the cold. So I did 16 and I did it with my friends who are also going to Boston, Hiroko and Leon. And I really enjoy running with them. They're fun. They were down to run in the rain. And then our another gentleman ran with us. He met us at 6. We met at 6:15. And then we met another guy who's doing Mount Charleston full next Thursday. I'm sorry, next Thursday, next Saturday. He met us at 7 because he was only doing 12 because it's a week away. And he just ran LA too. But it was just a fun finale run, you know. My average pace was a 9:07. And then I look at the other girls' Strava, one of them was like 8:50. And I'm like, how is that possible? We all ran together. It's just funny how you run with a group and then the paces come out different. My average heart rate was a 140 and I got about 449 feet of gain. I didn't care. The goal was just to get the 16 miles in. In Long Beach, there's this part of Long Beach called Naples. It's kind of like Venice, Italy. And it was raining so hard. I had water to my ankles. And then there was a headwind for part of it. I mean, it rained the whole time. When I was finished, my hair was in this big like rat knot. And Yeah, I was like, I'm so over the rain. So over, in fact, that today I ran on the treadmill because I'm like, I just don't want to get my feet wet. I don't want to get my hair in a big knot. So just over the rain. But I just keep thinking it could rain in Boston. This is what Boston could be like. So I do believe I'm prepared for every type of weather. I'm prepared for the cold. I've ran a really cold marathon before. Revel Big Bear 2022 was pretty dang cold. And that was the one I PR'd. So I do the best in cold weather. Chicago, 2007, 87 degrees. That's the one that they had to cancel. So I ran marathon. Oh, Marine Corps, 2016, also warm, like the warmest in its history, I think. That marathon, I think I walked from mile 11 to the finish, like ran, walked for a little bit and was like, forget it. I finished that in 5 hours. Also really warm. So I do feel like under any weather conditions, I can finish a marathon. I trained for this marathon with this cold that I just felt like someone was choking me out while I ran, and I still got the mileage in. So those are all like, I'm prepared for what I'm not going to stress about the weather. It is what it is. You can only control what you can control. And that's what I've been telling myself in this cycle. Like I've already controlled the controllables. I got every run in, I ran every mile. I was very cognizant about what I ate, what I drank. I did my strength training. And so do I feel as strong as this cycle as I have in previous cycles? No, I don't. Do I feel like I'm in 340 shape? I don't. But I'm feeling good right now and I've been enjoying going a little bit faster. So maybe I'll peak on race day. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I did everything I could. I had the best cycle I could have, maybe I did the best I could with the cycle. So that's all you can do. Um, and then I question if I had, so this was the first time I have done this type of plan. I normally do the one with the 2 SOS days where I would have the Thursday marathon strength, and I'm sorry, Tuesday marathon strength, and then Saturday, my tempo, my marathon pace miles would be worked into my long run. This time, the tempo miles were done on a Thursday. So that kind of freed me up on Saturdays to do my long runs with my friends because I wasn't so like, oh my God, I got to do this many miles at this pace. So now I'm like, I don't think I had enough recovery between Tuesday late afternoon run, right? I would start at like 3 p.m. And then Thursday morning, I would do the tempo run. So I'm like, maybe there wasn't enough recovery between the two. So what could I have done about that? Well, I could have moved my long run to Sunday. So I could have done the tempo on um, Friday. I could have ran Thursday easy, tempo on Friday, easy Saturday, long run Sunday. But then I don't get to run with my friends on Saturday. So I was like, don't want to do that. I enjoy running with people on Saturday. It just makes it more fun. So then I was like, okay, then you could have added the tempo miles to your Saturday run, but running with people and also how to get some hill work in. So that was it's worth the trade-off for me. I had more fun training with people than I do really care about like the sub 340. I've ran Boston. This is my second time. Super happy to do it again. Would love to requalify for Boston at Boston. I just think there's something cool about that. Would I do Boston a third year in a row? Maybe, maybe not. It's very expensive. I think if I have friends going next year, I totally would. But if I don't, if it's just me, I probably would forego, even if I qualify by a big buffer, which for me, I would be shooting for 10 minutes. Sub 340 would give me a 10-minute cushion. So we'll see. Yeah, I've just really enjoyed running with people and having the most fun I can. And for me, I feel like that was more important than honoring the strict schedule, or changing things up. Now, mind you, the two women I run with, they're gonna, they run the way they run. I do my long runs with them, and I know both of them are gonna rock it. Probably my guess would be do better than me time-wise. They're just very strong runners. So yeah, a couple things I wanted to tell you about is, oh gosh, I had new fuel. Now I got to go get the fuel. Anyway, maybe I'll show you my new fuel next week. Because I don't want to have you wait and I gotta get up and get it. No. Anyway, how about that? Stay tuned. I'll show it to you next week. I went to Marshall's. So I go to a Reddit thread called Running Shoe Geeks. And I just like to see what those people say about shoes because I don't always trust shoe reviewers who I know like get sent free shoes or they have relationships with the company, or it's like, hey, ASICS is sending me to Tokyo to run the Tokyo Marathon. Hey, guess what? I also think their shoes are great. No, you don't. You don't think their shoes are great. You're just being sponsored. Or maybe you do. I don't know. I don't know. But if I'm ASICS and you give me a bad shoe review, I'm not going to send you to Tokyo anymore. So that's my thought on that. So I go to the Running Shoe Geeks and I like to see what those people have to say. So someone tipped me off that Ross had this shoe. Let me show you. You guys, it's the Puma DV8 Nitro 2. Guess how much it was? $39.99. Can you believe it? I'm not kidding. I bought like 6 pairs. I'm gonna flip them. I'm gonna try to flip them at least. I'm gonna keep 2 pair for myself. But if you have a Marshalls or a Ross near you and you like this shoe, go check to see if your Marshalls or Ross has them. Super deal. I was dying to run in these this weekend, and guess what? I can't because it's been raining and I don't want to get my new shoes all messed up in the rain. So there's a fun tip for you. Another fun thing I did yesterday is in Long Beach, they have this thing called the Beer Mile. It's like this underground race. It's not like advertised, it's just like word of mouth race. And it is what it is. It's the Beer Mile. And so you have to chug a beer every quarter mile. And you have to start, and the beer has to be 5% or greater. So you chug a beer before you start, and then you run a quarter mile, and then you chug another beer, and then you run another quarter mile. There's a women's and a men's division. And the 2 women that I run with on Saturdays, they both participated. I didn't. I just wanted to watch. I'm like, I will next year, but I want to see what this is all about. And so they did, they came in second and third in the Beer Mile. And both of them are like very petite. You would never guess it. And anyway, that was super fun. And then if you throw up, you have to run an extra lap. So some people, there's this guy in the group, his bib is like 500 in Boston. I'm not kidding, he's super fast. And he's like, I threw up, I have to do an extra lap. So it was pretty funny. It was fun anyway. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, coaching. So as you know, this cycle, so I've always done Luke Humphrey running, Luke Humphrey plans. And I have my membership is like a year membership. I pay $250 a year. And I know it's since gone up, but I've been grandfathered in. And what that $250 gives me per year is I'm able to use any plan I want to. So I can switch them out. And the plans are about $50 each. So if you're running a few marathons in the year, to me, like it more than pays for it. Or if you're running 10Ks or 5Ks and you want to train, like that was great. I also get a $20 credit to the feed once a quarter. So that's pretty good. That's like $80, right? And I'm like, oh gosh, it practically pays for itself. It also gives you access to like asking questions and someone will answer, like one of the coaches on his team will answer. So for me, I like that was a great deal. So with Boston, he had something different. And it was like, I can't remember, he was charging 400 and something for it. And it was like, hey, fill out a weekly log. Like you do one of his structured plans and then you'd fill out a weekly log and you would communicate if you had questions or whatever. So yeah, so you're supposed to get weekly feedback. So I thought, okay, I'm going to pay for that. So since I already was a Run Club member, he like prorated it. He gave me a discount on it. And so every week I would fill out my logs. I'd always comment on my runs. For the first 2 to 3 weeks, I would hear back. Like, he really did not want me to run Mesa as we discussed. And then after that, crickets. Like I'd fill out my log and I wasn't really hearing anything, or it wasn't like, hey, this is how, like I was sick. It's kind of like I'm sick. And he was like, okay, well, just use your instincts. And I was like, oh, okay. So anyway, my whole thing with coaching is I always feel like this is the second time I've done coaching. And again, I like the initial thing that I had, and maybe I'm not coachable. Maybe I'm not coachable because there is a lot of like, I enjoyed running with my friends. I was kind of glad I wasn't getting feedback because I didn't want him to say, oh, you really need to hit these paces. Don't run with your friends or whatever, because I was like, not willing to do that. Or I didn't want him to say, it doesn't look like you're recovering enough. Move your long run to Sunday. I didn't want to do that. So part of me was like, I don't know if I wanted the advice anyway, so I feel like um I don't like the overpromise and underdeliver, like the weekly feedback, but in the same breath. So that's what I thought. I thought I was going to get weekly feedback. Things were going to be adjusted based on how I was doing. That wasn't happening, other than he really didn't want me to run Mesa. And I ran it anyway. And after that, it was kind of crickets. So I don't know if he was like, nah, she's not coachable because she did it anyway. I don't know. Anyway, my thoughts on coaching are after this, I would definitely keep my yearly membership and use his plans. I don't think I want to ever do one-on-one coaching again unless it's somebody that I personally know who coaches and like lives in my area and knows me and can like, is maybe part of my run club and also coaches and we have a relationship. But the 2 times I've had, like, I don't know Luke Humphrey. I didn't know the person I had used in 2019. And I feel like, how can you give someone advice when you don't know them? So, but people love it, no, but I just don't think it's for me. So I think moving forward, I just wanted to touch on the whole coaching thing. Moving forward, personally, if I had to get coaching, or if I wanted to get coaching, I would find someone local who like, oh my gosh, you're in my run club. You're a really strong runner. Oh, you're also a coach? Okay. Would you be interested in coaching me? So that was my thoughts on coaching. Maybe it'll be interesting to see the next 3 weeks leading up if anything changes, but that's kind of where I'm at now. I didn't feel like I got any more than I got last year, but this year I paid a little more to belong to the Boston group. And last year I was just in the Boston group. There wasn't an additional fee for it, and I could ask questions. So wasn't any different than what I got last year. The only difference is I paid more. So again, the overpromise, underdeliver. I don't know. That's just, how I feel. Another thing is, of course, my period came early, and this is TMI if you're a guy and you're listening, but I was hoping it would come this week, and no, it came last week. Last year it was late, and I started right before race day. And I don't have my best run. My best runs are usually done 2 weeks after my cycle. So I'm like, gosh, dang it. I hope I'm not a week out from it during the race. That's usually when I have my worst runs. But again, I can't control it. So it is what it is. I don't know. So that was week 12. How am I feeling? I'm feeling neutral. I might do really well. I might PR. We'll see. I don't know. So do I need to? Yeah, I'll come back next week. I'll tell you where my head's at, because I'll be leaving, that week, what my plan is in Boston and all that stuff. So happy running to you. I hope all is well. And I look forward to seeing you next week.